Hello. So today I'm on the riverbank of the River Thames, and I want to talk about sort of like, I suppose you can call it a myth, or sort of like a rite of passage, or if you speak to a photographer with a few years under their belt, they will always tell you the same thing. But I don't think it's necessarily true. So how about you grab yourself a coffee, take a seat, and let me just unload something to you, and I'll be interested to know what you think. So yeah, stick around. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all well, and thank you so much for clicking on that thumbnail. So my name's Nathan, and this is another video at Benham Media, but it's a little bit different today. So instead of me going out walking and taking photographs and talking you through what I'm doing, I want to discuss a particular sort of photography trait, which is amongst all photographers. And I want to see if there's a high opportunity or a chance where we can debunk it. Now, if you speak to any photographers long enough, they will always ask, do you shoot manual? Do you shoot manual? And it seems to be a sort of a rite of passage for when you finally figure out the photography triangle, which is ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. Once you've figured all that out and you're shooting manual, you automatically feel like you're a proper photographer. Now, in this particular video, I'm going to talk about one photo only, and it's this one. And the reason why we're talking about this particular photograph is because I didn't shoot it manual. And here's the reason why. When I first got my camera and I first started shooting with my camera, I had no idea what shutter speed was. I didn't know anything about ISO, aperture, I didn't. So I used the in-camera built-in profiles, you know, the landscape ones, the cityscape ones, the kids. And my photographs weren't coming out as good as what I hoped or what I've seen online. Now, when I eventually sort of sat down and learnt these three little rules, this wonderful concoction that once you've got them sort of all mixed together, my photography did in fact improve. I understood my camera better. I understood how to make the best out of a worse situation better. So my photography improved. And almost for 2 solid years, I shot exclusively on manual. And, you know, I would tell other people, you know, like, if you want to sort of like improve your photography, start shooting manual. Other photographers did exactly the same thing. But what I've noticed is quite a fair bit, especially when I've been walking around the streets and I've been chatting to other street photographers, is that sometimes I miss the opportunity. Sometimes I miss the moment of a great shot, and that's because I'm faffing around with my settings. That's because my ISO is too high because I've just come underneath a bridge and now I'm in the sunlight. It's because my aperture is too high because I wanted to get a full cityscape and now I want to get some bokeh. And I've missed that that wonderful opportunity to get the banger that's in that moment. So I've started asking questions. So I've started to wonder, is shooting manual always the best outcome? And over the last week or so, not even weeks, probably months or so, I have scrapped that entire idea and gone, no. There is definitely a time and place to shoot manual. When I shoot in my studio, when I'm in complete control of the surroundings, yes, manual all the way. I know what shutter speed I want, I know what aperture I want, I know what ISO is going to work best for the lighting that I have within my surroundings. When I'm doing some arty-farty type stuff, yes, shooting manual is perfect. But currently, I am sat on the riverbank of the River Thames. There are clouds in the sky, there are gaps in the cloud, and there's a constant change of light. Constantly. Even as we're talking now, the sun comes out, the sun goes away. And it occurred to me, and after watching a couple more videos online, that maybe, just maybe, shooting auto ISO is an okay idea when you're shooting street photography. And I've been trying it out, and I have. Do my photos come out as good as I want them? About 60% yes. Yes, they do. About 60%. But also I've been toying with the idea of having aperture priority. Now, a lot of my street photographer friends shoot in aperture priority. And they find it so much simpler, so much easier to let the camera do the majority of the work whilst you are trying to get that wonderful shot. And all you're in control of is the blur and the bokeh. Do you want to get a nice sort of individual shot of one person, or do you want to get everything? And the camera figures out the ISO and the shutter speed. Okay, sometimes it doesn't work out, but mostly it does. And even sitting here now, the sun's come out. I can see in my screen that I'm slightly blown out. But if I had this on auto ISO, it would adapt. So if we sort of try to change it a little bit, can we bring that down? So there we go. So I've just put this on auto ISO. As I'm filming this, it's going to figure itself out. So yeah, this particular photograph, I wanted it in a particular way. I wanted to shoot it in a particular way. And every time I would use it in manual, the lights weren't right, or this wasn't right, or that wasn't correct. So I put it on auto ISO and I went into aperture priority. And then I just set it at a high aperture because I wanted a nice wide I wanted everything in focus because it's a cityscape photo. And as I waited for the right moment, as I waited for the right time, I knew I didn't have to constantly try to adjust all of my other settings as the light changed. So yeah, in theory, for an experiment, if you are going out and you are shooting out and about in the sunshine, maybe give it a go. Give it a go. I'm not saying this is a must. I'm not saying that if you shoot manual, you should never, ever shoot in auto ISO. Because once you've figured it out, you can do what you want. But yeah, I just want you guys to not feel that you have to shoot manual to consider yourself a proper photographer. It's got extremely loud here all of a sudden. The waves are crashing. There's a helicopter above us. So how about we call this video a day? Nice little short one. I hope you enjoyed this photo. I'm going to put it again at the end. And if you do like it, give this video a thumbs up. If you really like it, hit the subscribe button and, become part of the B team. And if you've got any questions, quotes, or comments, leave them below. In the meantime, I'm going to go out and take some more photos in aperture priority with maybe the ISO on auto. Till next time, guys, enjoy your day or afternoon or evening. Bye.